Hey Virgo. Oh, so this just came out. The devil was just out for Aries. Um, Capricorn. So this could mean that Capricorn new moon on the 26th is significant for timing. Um, the devil's in the details. That's going into Capricorn season around the 22nd. And um, it's a Saturn energy. It challenges us to buckle down, to deal with stuff, to make a plan. The devil usually, when it comes up, talks about, so some of you, it could be your marriage, your relationship that you feel trapped in instead of happy to be in. It's become a burden. It's become codependent. And there's some bad behaviors going on, whether it's literally behavior, as in, um, anger or something like that, or it could be behavior as in addiction or codependency, or, even when people, and this kind of is going back to Aries, reminds me of, well, it's earth energy being the card of Capricorn. And so they get very bogged down in earth, in tangible things on the earth. So this is where things like OCD, and they can become very particular about, and it's a control thing, right? If you can control, if my house looks neat, I feel in control. If I can, whatever, if I can physically control my money or whatever it is, I'm then in control. But it's a mind fuck because it's inside. It's like, that's a projection. If I can keep things neat, then my life is in control. But we really can't control a whole lot of anything except for ourselves. So it's kind of this odd thing of being super controlling, but the one thing you need to control is your own behaviors. And these types of controlling people don't. They control everything else and sort of trick themselves into thinking they're in control, but they're not. Or they try to control the other person instead of dealing with their own shit. Hence the Five of Cups. Congratulations. No one wants to be around that energy. Although sometimes what happens is if you are codependent, you can be in like a martyr type thing. Like, well, I've committed to them and I'm going to stay even though I'm miserable and it's ruining my life. And then they dump you and you're like, what the hell? I was doing you a favor. So don't think you're necessarily doing anyone a favor by staying with them. Because if they're treating you like shit on some level, they don't respect you, and they probably are trying to self-destruct the relationship. And then, but if you so it's weird. So it's such a mindfuck because okay, here's the pattern. They behave badly, they scream, they yell, they whatever, disrespectful, drinking, going, who knows what. You get depressed and sad and upset because they're doing that. And then what happens? They dump you and say, well, you're never happy. Well, I would be happy if you didn't treat me like shit. It's for the best. This, something needed to end. I mean, this could be any sort of relationship or situation, but something needed to end. It was toxic. And yeah, so maybe you're just sort of feeling like that. Well, that's over. What, like, I get the feeling that you're kind of stunned. You're sort of just, it's almost this feeling of numbness or maybe absence. It's like the aftermath of a trauma. Say you were in a car accident and it's over and you're just sort of in shock. It's like a feeling of shock. Like when you look back, you're like, holy crap, that was 5 years of chaos or craziness or, just tumultuous energy. And, that could be the thing that sort of drew you in the first place, that excitement of this, maybe this person was hard to get. Why that attracts us when reliable people seem boring is so weird. But let me tell you, after this type of situation, you're going to want reliable. Although, so here comes in that Knight of Wands energy, this super jump on, just throw yourself with abandon into something, and it's just all encompassing the honeymoon period. It's so just, you feel alive. So I feel like you have to kind of reflect on how you got into this situation and what was appealing to staying in it. Let's pull some more cards, shall we? Let's put this nice black tourmaline over the devil. Try to neutralize that. Yeah, I'm getting like a malice, though. I usually don't get that from the cards. I appreciate and understand the lessons for all of them, but I feel like there was just like a malignant narcissist. I know everyone talks about narcissists, but I think they're rampant in this society for whatever reason. 10 of arrows, so 10 of swords. It says instruction. In the traditional tarot, this is that, I think it's called the keyword in this deck is ruin. In here, this is a more pagan deck. 10 of arrows is instruction. It's the straw that broke the camel's back. It is, therapy might be a really, really good idea to have someone that can help you unpack this situation. King of Pentacles. This is stability. I mean, it could have been this earth sign person. And we have the timing of the full moon. King of Wands. Here's that fire energy. And the Three of the Three of Cups came out with Aries too. So there's something, maybe a connection with Aries. You might want to check out that video. Page of Swords. Communication. Maybe you get a text. Maybe this all goes down because you get it. Maybe there's a third party too. You get a text that was meant to go to someone else. And I just saw 1010 so before. And that sort of tips you off that, and they try to explain it away, but it's the catalyst. It's this 10 of Swords where the straw that breaks the camel's back. It's it's just like, you know what? This is never going to change. And I don't know why it took me 50 times, but this is not going to change. And it's time to be done with it. And maybe they spin it around like, oh, you're overreacting. It was just a friend. Blah, 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 blah. We're done. And somehow turns it on you. So don't take that on. Now, for some of you, you'd been stuck for a long time after the breakup. You just it's been a long time that you have been, maybe you're realizing, closed off and not receptive to welcoming something new. And there's some sort of shift this month. You're able to finally see things. This is enlightenment and insight and a shift in perspective. And you are able to let this new energy in. And it's really exciting. It could be an earth sign or or a fire sign. But you're taking it slow. You're moderate. So these two kings, these two energies are somewhat opposite. The earth is very slow and takes its time. I never know how to position these. And the fire energy is a much more action-oriented, fast-moving energy. So I can see you enjoying the newness and the excitement and the energy, yet keeping it tempered by taking things slow and really getting to know the person before you jump into before you really let yourself get involved. It could be too that like that person's family, like there are more people in the relationship than you realize. So there may have been family always um, butting in and stirring the pot and causing trouble, or friends or whatever. And it kind of gets to the point where it's like, you know what, this just isn't working for whatever reason. It just isn't working, and to let it go and realize you don't have to stay tied to something that is unhealthy and causes you distress. There's no reason that you have to continue to be miserable and put up with that. Yeah, maybe you're really seeing the other side of someone, which would be interesting because you guys always get the bad rap of being duplicitous, but um, I don't think that's true, but that is sort of the tagline. But I think you're seeing it in someone else. But you're moving on finally, which is you're this 10 of swords is like flicking a light switch. It's all of a sudden, inexplicably almost, just one more thing, and you're just like, why am I still, because I feel like this breakup actually happened a while ago now that I'm getting into it, but you've still been hanging on to it, or it's still traumatized you, and it may always traumatize you on some level, but you're whatever reason, the energy around now, you're able to release it and move forward with all that wisdom and experience with you. So if you're afraid at all of, oh man, am I just going to jump from the frying pan to the fire? I don't think so, because you're tempering your excitement here. So you're not jumping in with abandonment and finding yourself in deep when you start to see someone's true colors. And it doesn't mean they're going to ever reveal anything bad, but it takes a while for people to really reveal themselves. Everyone does it. We all do it. And unfortunately for some people, when you see just that trendy saying right now, when someone shows you who they are, believe them, you'll believe them. And it sucks if you're a year or something into a relationship, but it's better a year in than 10 years of hell. I want to pull a few more cards because I don't like the note that this is ending on. So what's moving forward? I'm going to be doing some full year readings as well. So look for those coming up. Oh yeah. Yeah, not yeah, for some of you it's a breakup of a marriage. You've been hesitant to accept new offers, that hanged man energy. But again, this fire energy is coming in and is waking you up. Maybe people are making you feel guilty. Maybe it hasn't been that long that you're moving on, and you're just, it's none of, this card is, it's none of your business. The Seven of Wands is just, you don't owe anyone any explanation. So don't um, allow yourself to get defensive and feel like you have to defend yourself. You can do whatever you want. You're an adult, so you can, and people, just because people don't understand the situation, it's not, you don't need to explain it to them. It's, I'm getting this vibe of just, yeah, this other person may be yapping all over the place. I've lived long enough that I have realized that the people who say the most and have to get their side out there, I tend to be way more suspicious of them than the person I never hear from that keeps their mouth shut, because I feel like they just have learned, there's just no use getting into things with this person, and they can say what they want. I'm confident. I know what happened, and that's all that matters. Thanks for watching. Take care.